Professor CMDR, so kindly excuse me, I have not edited that, right? I thank the director of CMDR and
Why Sana?
Professor, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Professor Brahmanam, Professor Annigeri for giving me this opportunity to come here and share my thoughts on research methods in social sciences. In the morning session, Professor Annigeri raised so many questions before you, right? I will try to give some of the answers to the issues and questions raised by Dadi, right? Don't take down anything, right? Just listen to me. If you want, this PPT will be shared to you. Huh? Just relax, sit back and enjoy, right? Okay. We will try to understand what are the methods of social science research. If you want to do anything, even a cooking, right? There is a recipe available to you. How to cook a particular item, right? How to start and what are the midway and you will get that product, right? Or if you want to do a marriage, there are steps. That is called as protocol. You have to follow that protocol. So in the same fashion, social science research has many protocols, steps, right? I am not saying these are the only steps which need to be followed, but by and large, around the globe, people have followed this. So if you follow these steps, you will start, take down the research continuously and make an end. You will be passing through the tunnel and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, right? So we will try to understand, aram se, coolly, right? What are the steps in doing social science research? Do you agree with me? Yes. Shall we go forward?
Yes.
Research definition. Don't look at it. Now tell me from the class, what do you understand by research? And before understanding research, you must also understand one thing, because I keep telling this to my students, PhD students. When you embark on a study, research study, you must ask one basic question before doing the research. What will happen to this world if I don't do this research? What will happen to this world if I don't do this? If the answer is nothing will happen, don't do that research. There is no point in doing that research, right? So, the sum and substance of research should be useful to the society at large in the ultimate analysis. It may increase your biodata, you will have one paper published or PhD completed, that is fine. But society at large should be benefited by your research. Now what is research? Don't look at that. Any response from the class?
To find out something new.
To find out something new, right? Okay. Anything else?
To find out research questions.
Okay.
Systematic inquiry into the particular.
Okay. Just read it now. In the broadest sense of the word, the definition of research includes any gathering of data, right? Information, data or information and facts for the advancement of knowledge. So if you are gathering data, information or facts for the advancement of knowledge, in a very generic sense, that is research, right? Reading a factual book or any sort or surfing the internet is a research in a very generic sense. So you are reading some book or searching or you are on Facebook or Instagram. That is research in a very generic sense, right? But we try to understand what is research, a scientific definition of research, right? Okay. The strict definition of scientific research is performing a methodical study. Whatever study you do should be methodical. People say that there should be method in madness also, right? It should be methodical. Methodical study in order to prove a hypothesis, right? What is the hypothesis?
Tentative statements that.
It's just a statement. Whether tentative or not, it's a statement. It's a sentence, right? So you are either trying to prove that or nullify that, right? So study in order to prove a hypothesis or answer a specific question, right? What could be the specific questions? Girls are dropping out at a higher rate at the secondary level of education is a specific question. You will try to give an answer for that. Am I right? Okay. Finding a definitive answer is the central goal of any experimental process. Finding a definitive answer. See, all the researchers in this world are either they are trying to prove something or disprove something. Any science, social science, science, whatever, right? So your focus of the research should be to find a definitive answer, right? Okay. Research must be systematic and follow a series of steps and a rigid standard protocol. I told you, while doing marriage also there is a series of steps and protocol. So research also involves steps and protocol. We will try to understand what is that protocol today. Okay? These rules are broadly similar but may vary slightly between different fields of science. So research in chemistry, research in physics, research in economics, sociology, the foundation is the same, but after some time they will deviate, right? So foundation of research in any discipline is almost similar. Scientific research must be organized and undergo planning. What kind of planning? Including performing literature review. I'll come to that later. Literature review is the major question faced by the PhD scholars. Where to start and where to end. Do you have any answer for literature review? Because these days at the click of the button you have truckloads of information. A truckload of articles would be downloaded within few minutes. Can you read that? So there is a method of doing literature review. I'll come to that when we follow the steps, right? Reviews of past research and evaluating what questions need to be answered. So once, see, most of the students, what mistake they do is, first they will define the questions. Don't try to define the questions at the earliest stage of your research. What is the task at the earliest stage? Review of literature. Unless and until you review the literature, you cannot design the questions. Keep that in mind, right? Okay. Are you with me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Purpose of research. What is the purpose? The purpose of research can be complicated issue and varies across different scientific fields and disciplines. Okay. At the most basic level, science can be split loosely into two types: pure research and applied research. Pure research and applied research. You have heard Amartya Sen, right? Have you heard?
Yes.
He is known for what? Nobel Prize in Economics. Nobel Prize in Economics. He never went to any village. He never prepared any questionnaire. He never asked somebody. But he was doing research. So that is theoretical research, conceptual research, pure research. Fortunately or unfortunately, you and me have not been trained in the domain of pure research. Can we do pure research? We are busy in applied research. Whenever you ask any PhD students what are they doing, we have registered and we are preparing a questionnaire. Right? Don't go for questionnaire immediately after registration. One of my students is sitting here. She will appreciate what I am saying because she is in the final stages now. Right? So questionnaire, my second session is on questionnaire preparation. So questionnaire preparation is also a very tricky job. After this session, we will try to understand field survey instruments. There are various field survey instruments and I will be talking to you about preparation of the questionnaire. I hope you are at that stage now. Somebody has registered and doing some work and you are about to develop a questionnaire. Am I right?
Yes.
No. That will be useful. The research process, key concept. Now we will slowly enter the protocol domain of research. What are the steps, right? The process of scientific method is shaped like an hourglass. Have you seen the hourglass? Huh? The shape, sand is there, they put it, when the sand comes to the second chamber, it is 1 hour, right? So, hourglass, research is like hourglass. What do you mean by that? Very general, specific, not specific understanding, very general understanding of the issue. Review of literature, you identify the gaps, come to the specifics, design the questions, right? Research questions, then about collecting data, very specific, then again analyze data and generalize it, right? So from generalization to generalization. So research is like an hourglass. I hope I am making myself quite clear. Okay. At last we conclude and generalize to the rest. That means we are blowing up the data finally. See, suppose you examine an issue in one district. In Dharwad district you have examined an issue, you have collected data and you have analyzed data. You have understood the issue now and you will blow it up to the state of Karnataka. You can generalize it, right? So if your methodology is strong, you can generalize. Okay, objectives of research, right? Realize your research potential. How many of you in this class, in this room, feel that you can complete PhD? How many of you have registered? Raise your hands. So how many of you have the guts to say that I can finish my PhD? See, only few hands are coming. That means you don't have the courage or the guts to say that I can complete my PhD. One is sitting there also. She has done so much of work, she is not confident. Right? You are not confident. Why? Because you have not realized your research potential. Right? What is that research potential? Ram Kahani you all know. Ramayana. Right? Rama had lost Sita. The whole Vanar Sena was searching. Right? They were at the tip of the Indian continent, at the sea. Everybody was sitting like this because they had a news that Sita was on the other side of the sea in Lanka. They had this news, no confirmation. And Hanuman was also sitting like this. Lot of depression. So counseling takes place at that time. Who gives the counseling? Yes. Jamwan. See, we have touched upon counseling long back. Now people are talking about this counseling, that counseling. Counseling is quite old, right? What he says to Hanuman, you have all the potential, strength and capability to jump, go there and come back. You have that potential. So Hanuman did not know his potential. So in the same fashion, you have all the potential. Those who did not raise the hands of completing the PhD, you have the potential. Realize your potential. Right? What is that? Realize your potential, that you have the capability and the strength to complete your PhD. That is basic. You must have the guts. Simply understanding research methods will not take you to the end of the tunnel. Right? This is important. Realize your potential. Second, begin to think of some research topics. Those who have not decided their topics, what are the topics can you think about? Any suggestion from the class or any topics that you have selected? One or two from economics or sociology, political science. You narrated it in the last hour. But for my understanding, anybody can say some topic? Which topic?
Price trend and forecasting of oil seeds and pulses in major states in India.
My God. Price trends in
Price trend and forecasting.
forecasting also. Forecasting. Right? Forecasting is the critical issue in your research, right? On what basis you will forecast? Because oil prices are very volatile in nature. Like your tomato prices. 150 rupees kilo and today 10 rupees kilo. Right? Very volatile. So forecasting is problematic. But I am sure with your guide you will discuss and do it. Right? So begin to think of some research topic is the beginning. I told you steps. This is the step, basic step. What is the next step? Conduct some research in your field. Right? We'll come to that, how to do it. Guide your later on. Tomorrow or after some years after completing your PhD, you will become a guide. So you should guide your students at that time. So you must cultivate that capability also. Right? This is important. Publish your research. Most of the cases, what they will do, one copy has to be given to the library of the university. Next day they will go and keep that thesis in such a way that nobody can find it. They will close. They are holding their research to their chest. Why? Am I right or not? You won't show your thesis to your friends or why? Because you are not confident about your research. Right? So, if you are confident, you should publish it. Now there is a rule that UGC, before submitting, you have to publish 2 papers, something like that. Right? So, unless and until you have the capability to, who can publish? Only one, you have you believe in your research. Otherwise, close it, keep it somewhere, nobody should see it, your degree is awarded, move around, enjoy. Right? You should not do it. Right? You have the capacity, you have the courage to publish your research. Okay. Research process per se now. Right? You will understand the process. Inductive, deductive. Have you heard about these things? Inductive research and inductive is induction program. Have you heard about this induction program? Yes. In some of the courses. Today we say induction program in our college or institution. What is that induction program?
Introduction.
Huh?
Introduction.
Not introduction. It is induction. One batch is existing in the institute or in an MA course. Final has passed out. Previous has gone to the final. And fresh batch is coming. So that is induction. Right? So induction program. New students are entering into the institution. Induction. So in the same fashion, induction research. Existing body of knowledge is there. You are inducting extra body of knowledge into the existing body of knowledge. Am I making myself quite clear?
Yes.
That is inductive research. Theoretical research, conceptual research. You are inducting fresh thinking. Amartya Sen inducted welfare economics into the welfare domain, right? So, deductive research. What is deductive research? You are testing that existing body of knowledge, a piece of body of that knowledge on the ground. Empirical research. So, deductive research. Is it clear? Quantitative, qualitative. Professor Dadibawi was talking about. You must use quantitative techniques to understand statistics, go to the statistics department and attend classes and understand, and then you should use it. Right? So research involves quantitative, numbers, playing with numbers. Right? Qualitative research, playing with words. You are building a story. Right? Go and observe in a school why the students are dropping out, stay there for 6 months, collect necessary information and whatever, right? And produce a story. So qualitative, which is important. We will come to that, right? The research process. Okay. From where will you start? This is the process I am giving you. Literature review.
Inductive, sir.
Huh?
Inductive.
Inductive. Okay. Can you see this? Huh? Okay. This okay for you? No. Yes. From where to start? See, I will leave you into a room which has not been used for about 3-4 years. Lot of dust and everything is in a haphazard way. But as soon as you enter the room, you will not know from where to start the cleaning process. So much of it's in a disorganized way, right? So this is like that. But at least some clues where to start.
Empirical lecture.
Huh?
Research questions.
You must start with, somebody said, literature.
Yes.
Right? So without literature you cannot proceed further. That is the basic thumb rule. Literature, either it could be inductive, deductive, whatever. Right? Literature, research questions, hypothesis, empirical observation, data collection, proportion, data analysis, and come to the research reporting. Are you getting the point? So research, literature review is the starting point. What is usually the second chapter of your thesis? First is introduction. Then you come to literature, identify the gaps, formulate the general questions, then go to the research questions, then go to the methodology, Are you following the steps now?
Yes.
Right? That is how it unfolds. So if you follow these steps, easily you can cross the tunnel. Right? Okay. Okay, actual process now. Steps, protocol. I was talking about protocol. This is protocol, right? What is the process? First, select a topic. Without topic, what do you do? So selection of topic is more important, and most of the people spend 6 months or 1 year in selecting the topic. And most of these PhD students go to the guide and say, "Sir, give me some topics." That is a wrong way of doing. You see why the student will have to select the topic. When you select the topic, you own the topic. You feel that topic belongs to you. When you own the topic, you do justice to the topic. Right? So selecting topic is the foremost step. Like in the marriages, I told you, what is the first step in the marriage? Boy and girl will see each other. Same thing. First step, select the topic. Right? Second, review of literature. Third, determine the method. Quantitative or sample frame, which area, which taluk, which village, blah blah blah, right? Collect data, analyze data, write that. This is the protocol, and I will be discussing each one of this in detail, right? So select a topic was the first step, right? You will understand how to select. What are the ingredients of selecting a topic, right? Topic of interest to you. What is the topic of interest to you? Have you selected the topic? Which is the topic of interest to you?
Area of agriculture, economics.
Agriculture, it's a very broad thing, right? But you should zero in. You should zero in to the what is agriculture economics, which is the thing, right? Anybody who can tell me the topic of interest to you? Oil seeds price is the topic of interest to you, right? Any other topic which is of interest to you? Yes? Selected the topic?
Not it.
Which is the topic of interest to you?
Environmental economics, sir, in that something related to ecosystem services.
Okay. Okay, fine. Whatever. So select a topic which is of interest to you. Don't take a topic which is the topic, no sir, my guide gave the topic. That is very wrong, right? See, in PhD, there is one thing. Either you get a good guide and bad topic. Good topic and bad guide, right? So getting good guide and good topic is a rare combination. And if you get it, with all due respect to the guides, right? So this is the general experience, right? No, topic is good, but my guide is not. My guide is good, but my topic is not. So don't feel that I'm just on the lighter side. Every time guide will be good, topic will be good. You should make the topic good, right? Okay. Personally meaningful. It should be personally meaningful to you, right? Emotionally unattached. There are some students from Kolhapur, right? They will say that they need Belgaum for Maharashtra, right? Emotionally attached. So you should not take this topic wherein you are emotionally attached, right? So no emotional attachment in your topic, right? It should, more important, it should be useful to others, not to you, right? Willing to share. Finally, willing to share. Manageable. Here, what is not manageable? Somebody is interested in studying terrorism. Is it manageable? If you go and ask, make a questionnaire to terrorists and go, what is your name, where are you working, what are your plans? They will not give you your plans. They will shoot you. So, it should be manageable. Your topic should be manageable. Please think that it is very important. Otherwise, what will you, somebody are very over-ambitious at the initial stage of research. They are over-ambitious and do or select a topic which finally, you should bite whatever is able to chew. You should not bite more than what you can chew. The statement is, you should not bite more than what you can chew. The monkeys will bite more. Keep it here. Have you seen that? That should not happen to you in research. Okay? Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Then, suppose we have assumed that you have selected the topic, right? which is manageable. What questions do you have about the topic? Next step, right? You have selected the topic. You must list down some questions on your topic. Any example from the class?
Regarding my topic, why prices of oilseeds and pulses are fluctuating.
Private expenditure on health.
Why they are fluctuating?
Practices.
What factors are affecting?
Yes, you said something?
Private expenditure on healthcare services.
Private expenditure on healthcare services. Since I have worked on this for many years, healthcare expenditure. In the 80s, nobody worked on private healthcare expenditure, right? It was only public. What we did here was we estimated the health accounts for a district, right? So at that time, I am Ahmedabad and so many other researchers in Punjab, Delhi, they also started working on private expenditure on healthcare. That is called WOOPS, right? Out of spending, out of pocket spending, right? WOOPS. So if you analyze this total expenditure on health now, what is the message? About 75 to 80% is spent by households from our pocket. Only 20 to 25% is spent by the government. So don't think that government is doing great thing in health. You and me are doing great thing in health because we are spending more money, right? Okay. What questions do you have about the topic? It's very important. List down the questions. So do you want to resolve a problem? There is a problem. You want to resolve, right? You want to test a theory on the ground, right? What are you doing? Explain a phenomenon. She is trying to explain a phenomenon of the prices of oilseeds and whatever, right? So, what are you doing in your research? Either you should be doing this, right? So, identify that. Or you want to uncover a process, right? You want to demonstrate the truth, right? Harvard University. What is the logo of Karnataka University? Arivegum. Your understanding itself is a teacher for this, right? Harvard University, let truth prevail, right? Let truth prevail. So you want to demonstrate the truth. What is the truth? You don't know. Re-evaluate other studies is also a research. Suppose some studies have taken place on private healthcare expenditure, about 40, 50 studies, you want to evaluate them. That is also a research, right? Am I making myself quite clear? Shall we go further? How can we turn those questions into research questions? I told you first, select topic, have some general questions on your topic. After having general questions on your topic, convert those general questions into research questions, right? Relationship between variables, phenomena, concepts or ideas. She is trying to build this. Cause and effect. This is the cause and the prices are varying. So you want to build a relationship between variables, right? Or phenomena, concepts or ideas, right? Is the question clear and researchable? Once you have a set of general questions and research questions, examine this, right? Is the question or are the questions, right? Clear and researchable. The questions should be clear and they should be researchable. Is the question within the context of previous study or you have different set of questions, new study, right? Is there a definable theory? I think Professor Gadibavi also spoke about this, right? When you zero in on research questions, link these questions to the theory part of your discipline. If it is economics, go to the theory of economics. If it is political science, link your questions to the theory of political science, sociology or whatever, right? So, this is important. That means, that's quite clear. Now selected topic is over. Is that clear now? First step. Second step, review the literature, thorough review. What is this thorough review? Expands upon the relationship between the proposed study and what has already been presented. So, you have selected a topic, questions have been formulated. Now you review the literature in such a way that whether these questions have been addressed by other researchers, right? Similar issues have been touched upon. Discuss the distinction between previous research and your research. So that is where the research gap is there, right? Guides the reader, selective but thorough. I am saying selective. So the thumb rule here is that, what is selective? I also don't know, right? Because I told you truckload of information is there. So there are categories of making a review. First category you can take down because it is not part of the PPT. The first category is classic contributions in your discipline. How many economic students are there? What are the classic contributions in economics? Classical economists, neoclassical economists, modern economists, Amartya Sen. These are all classical economic thought. Economic thought has developed over the period of time. Alright? Economic thought. Now you individually examine whether the classical economists have said something about your questions. Neoclassical economists have said something about your topic and questions. Modern economics, right? Or Cambridge school, whatever school, right? All schools. Within India you have Delhi school and a Bombay school, right? So whether these classical contributions have something related, have a discussion, something related to your questions and topic, you review that. That is the best way of doing review of literature. Your major portion is complete once you do this. Secondly, you touch upon certain international contributors and Indian contributors who are considered as stalwarts in your discipline, right? What they have to say about your topic and what is their contribution and what you have understood. That is the kind of the research. Am I making myself quite clear? Right? So then you go to the journals, right? Whether there is a discussion in the recent issues of the journals, because reading journal is very important. Whether the discussion is taking place in the journal discussions, some 4 or 5 journals, some foreign journals, some 2 or 3 Indian journals, not all journals. Whether something is taking place, discussion. So what is the gist of that discussion related to your topic, right? Then you go to some UN bodies where they have said something like that, UNO, UNICEF, World Bank, right, IMF, they have said something about maybe about your topic. So what they have said about your topic, so you are reviewing the journals, UN bodies, right? Then you come to the government reports, whether there are commissions and reports are there, whether they have said something about your topic, what they have said, just that. So if you list down all these things, your literature review is over, but after your review of literature, at the end of that chapter, you should write 2-3 pages on what you have understood from all this and what are the gaps. Am I making myself clear? So that completes your review of literature. Only if there are truckloads of books and articles, don't worry. If you systematically follow this, your review is over. Is it okay? Reviews the literature in search of the theory, clarifies the relationship between the proposed study and demonstrate why it is important, right? Rationale for your study. In some of the PhD theses, there is a practice of writing. What is the rationale for your study? Usually in the introduction part they write it. Why you have selected this and why it is important, right? That is what it indicates. Indicates distinction between previous research, develops a theme, be selective. As I told you, be selective in reviewing the literature. Next step is determine the method. I told you some 6 methods, steps. This is next one. Determine the method. The purpose of the study, research question drives the methodology. So, what kind of research questions do you have will decide the methodology. Whether you are going for a field investigation or whether you are going only for the secondary data or whether you are going for a focus group discussion or key informant interviews, all those methods are there. Your research questions will address the methodology. Is it okay? Research plan. What is the type of study design? Study design is sampling frame. And in most of the PhD vivas, questions will be asked on your sample frame. And I will tell you, there is no perfect 100% scientific sample frame in this world. You cannot have it. Right? There will be some loopholes and the external examiner will catch those loopholes. And in that connection, you should defend your sample frame. I have selected this state for this reason. I have selected this district for this reason. I have selected these taluks for these reasons. You have a number of reasons to select. Right? So you should defend it. What must be done to tighten the design? This is what I am saying. Tighten the design. Sample frame has to be tightened. Right? Which are oil seeds? Which states are you considering? All India?
Major states.
Why major states? That is my question.
I'm comparing the prices to Maharashtra. Major state means groundnut at which state will more.
Major states are defined by Finance Commission. How do you define? See, I am not discouraging you. Major states, how have classified? On what basis?
What are the related to prices? Major prices.
Major prices means what? See, in PhD everything is questioned. When you say major prices, what do you mean by major prices? When you say major states, what do you mean by major states? Can I question it or not? No, this is for your better thing. You should be prepared for such questions. Right? Any other thing? Why did you select a particular state? No answer.
It's in production of oil.
Every state is involved in production of oil seeds. Am I right or wrong? You find oil seeds in all states. Why only X states?
If suppose we consider as a Gujarat or Maharashtra is.
No, I will give you a clue. List down the states. Either by production or cultivation. Area under oil seeds. Rank them. Right? So you select those, how many states you want to select? 5 or 10? 5. First 5 major states. Then you can say major states. These are having large area under oil seeds, that is the rationale. If somebody asks you why only these states, you can say these are the 5 states who are cultivating oil seeds on a large scale. That is the argument.
Suppose if I select in Maharashtra which are the major oil seeds and pulses are produced or area is under cultivation, that oil seeds and prices will be compared with the other.
No, if you have a rational explanation for whatever you have done, fine. Right? You should be able to explain the rationale.
Yes.
If you are able to do it, no issue. Okay, are getting others also getting that point? Have the extraneous variables considered. What is this extraneous? Extraneous variables.
Sorry?
Extraneous variables are those variables which are not under your control. Suppose Narendra Modi imports oil tomorrow, extraneous thing, they will affect your prices also. So whether you are considering extraneous factors also, those extraneous factors would be the limitations of your study. Am I making myself? You don't have any control. They become the limitations. And you are listing the limitations in your study. Am I right? At some point or some chapter, you would say these are the limitations of the study. Right? Is the design defensible? That's what I asked her. Whether your sample design, whatever, is defensible. Can you define it? Right? What happens in some of the European universities, the PhD viva is, notice is circulated throughout the town or the city. Anybody can come and sit and ask questions. Fortunately, unfortunately, what has happened in our system? Only select people would be invited. Those who will not ask questions. Right? So, okay. Is the population appropriate? Whether you population that you have considered, right? Or out of the oil seeds, you select only few oil seeds. That is the population for you. whether it is correct or not, right? All those things. Does the question write the methodology? Is it? You should examine it. Sorry. What instrument do you plan to use? Instrument of data collection. I will come to that. Any questions? Can you see that? In current awareness? Okay. Research plan components, right? First you must write introduction, methodology, data analysis. Before that, data collection will be there, of course, obvious thing, right? Time schedule and budget. This is for if you are sending a research proposal to some funding agency, right? Those who don't have an understanding of quantitative and qualitative, this is the distinction, right? Qualitative, interpretive, artistic, explores meanings, words. It's a storytelling thing. Usually, anthropologists, sociologists would be doing this, right? They will go to a tribe and sit there with that tribe for years together and study that tribe and publish a book, something like that. A British researcher long back came to study a tribe here, married a tribal woman, stayed with them for years, and then publishes a book on the modus operandi of that tribe, right? So it's all qualitative things. Quantitative experiments are there, right? I will take the height of all the participants of this batch and say that this is the average height. Experiment, right? So this number, surveys are being done, survey questionnaire, go to survey, go to the villages, get the data, analyze data, right? Generates facts and numbers. You are playing with numbers. Which is the best one now? You should have an ideal marriage of both. You must have both qualitative as well as quantitative. So that gives rigor to your research, right? Quantitative, all those things will come. Experimental, descriptive, correlational, causal, comparative, cause and effect. So, in the month of June and July, August, there is what is the cause? Rainfall is the cause. What is the effect? Green is the effect, right? So, greenery on the earth is the effect, rain is the cause, right? So, cause and effect relationship are being established in quantitative analysis. What is the cause and what is the effect? Why that effect? You will explain. Product oriented, results on facts, right? Guiding designs, deductive in nature. You are testing a theory on the ground by collecting facts, right? Qualitative ethnography. What is ethnography?
Detailed study of the
Participative research, right? Ethnographic studies. Anthropologists do it. Any anthropologists? Ah, that is what he says. Anyone else? Anthropology. Very interesting science, anthropology. Now I feel that I should have studied that discipline. But after some time, you should have studied economics. Rounded theory, case study approach, right? Have you done some case studies in your research? Now economists also are doing case studies now these days, right? Phenomenological study, personal voice, inductive, context-based, natural setting, results in understanding. So you understand the fact without numbers, right? Which one is best? You should strike a balance between both. You should not like this or like this. It should be a balance. Determine the method. Next step is protocol. Next protocol is collect the data. Right? Subjects, population, sample, how many states, how many districts, how many taluks, how many households, why those households, geographical representation, right? All those things will come into the picture, right? So population and sample, your sample frame should be fit enough to defend. Instrument to measure, construct, you are trying to measure. Instrument, I will, as I said, in the next class, I will take the questionnaire design, how to design a questionnaire. Human subject clearance, these things, ethics and research are now emerging issues before going to a village. Now, if you go to a village, there is a board now. Nobody is allowed to enter the village to collect the data. You can see it. So clearance is required now, right? So all those things have come into the picture now. Informed consent. You must get the consent. When you go to a household, sir, I have come to collect this data which will be kept confidential, only used for research. Do you agree to give the data, right? Collect the data, analyze the data. Statistical technique or techniques to be used, and what we used to do here is we used to conduct a 10-day program on SPSS, Statistical Package for Social Sciences, right? So you have a number of one more thing which when I was here we bought one more software which will analyze the data and also give the text of interpretation. You need not have to worry. After analyzing the data, it will give you a paragraph. What does that mean? So you can cut and paste in your text immediately. So such possibilities are now coming up, right? You should make use. How groups are formed, how many treatment. What is treatment, you know? Control group and treatment group. Are you aware about this?
Yes.
Because these days the research is going into a direction of comparative research, right? For this group, I give a thali which contains 2500 kilocalories. For this group, I give a thali, ordinary thali. After 6 months or 1 year, I will study their nutritional status and the nutritional status of this group. That is a control, right? Sorry, is it a treatment group or a control group?
So this is
Treatment group. This is the control group. So you can make a comparison. So how many treatments, independent variable, kind of data, which data, right? All those things. Pool data, time series data, all there are various kinds of data, right? You need to specify your data sets. Write the report, final one. Introduction, description of the problem, right? Review of literature, statement of hypothesis, operational terms, right? Methodology, description of subjects, description of instruments. See, there is also a practice of writing rationale for the questionnaire. Why you have designed the questionnaire in this fashion only, you should write, right? Description of instruments, description of the design of the sample frame, what you have done, description of the procedures, what you have done, right? All detailed procedures. Write the report, results, first results will come. Describe statistical techniques and the level of predetermined confidence, right? Description of results for each hypothesis. Discussion. Discussion is important. You get the results. Why you have got that kind of a result, you need to discuss it. That is important. Suppose, when I went to Dhaka some time back, a world famous economist was there and I was presenting the health accounts data before that group. He was a very senior man, at that time only he was supposed to be part. He was from Tamil Nadu, but he worked in IMF and all those things. I presented my data before him. He said, Vinod, I appreciate your data, but you tell me why the data is behaving in that fashion. That is important. That is discussion. You should tell your reader why you have got such results, and that is the logic of a researcher. Are you getting the point? Result is important. Discussion, sorry. Interpretation of the results. Interpretation. You interpret the results. Why it is like that? Right? That is important. Conclusions, recommendations, and after recommendations you should also write now future areas for research in the same domain, right? References, you all know how to do it. Some librarian must have taught you, right? Appendices, share your knowledge with others in the field, present and publish, which is more important. So this concludes my first session. I hope you have made an understanding of whatever I have narrated, and if you have understood something, I would feel happy about it. Shall we close now? What is the timetable, or should I continue the second one? What is it?
time to
Here 150. Up to 115 this will go.
Yes.
Okay, 20 minutes now, right? So you have any questions or discussion? Because my presentation is over, right? So if you want to discuss something on this topic, you are free to raise issues. Feel free, even if you ask whatever kind of a question, don't feel bad about it. You can ask any question. You should feel lucky that when we were doing research or when we were in colleges and postgraduate school, such events were not being organized at all. Only one something in Delhi, Mumbai, they were getting. But such RRC courses are regularly organized in most of the places now, right? So you are getting the benefit of such a discussion and you are exposed. What I would say in life is, intelligence is required, but exposure is more important. You should get exposed, right? So any questions?
Sir, I have a question.
Please.
So, how to review a research paper or in books?
Okay. Method of reviewing it.
Yes, sir.
See, suppose you are reviewing a research paper.
Yeah.
First of all, you say that this is the title of the paper written by so and so, whatever,
Yeah.
which year it was published by whom, all those things
Yes.
will come.
Yeah.
Then you present the focus of the paper,
Okay.
on what issue the paper has been written,
Theme.
theme of the paper.
Yes.
And if the paper has elaborated on the theme, you also say something.
Yes.
Elaborate on the theme. So the theme section is over now.
Okay.
Then you come to the methodology of that paper. Whether they have gone for a primary data collection or secondary data collection. What kind of methodology was adopted, right? So after methodology, in the methodology you should highlight where the data was collected, what was the kind of analysis method was used, all those things.
Yeah.
Finally, you briefly present the results.
Okay.
What the paper is saying about the data analysis and results and what is their conclusion. I think that should suffice. That should suffice. This applies to the book also.
Okay.
So you should review the book in 1.5 or 2 pages.
Okay.
An article in about a page.
Okay.
So don't keep on writing. That is boring for someone. You should be very cryptic in your writing. Review, you should do the review and abridge it.
Okay.
Right? If it is a 25-30 page article, you should abridge it 1.5 page. Everything getting reflected. So it depends on your intelligence and skills. I am not saying this is the method. The task is how to get that 25 or 30 page article in 1.5 page, including everything. Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir. Shall we add our ideas or some conclusions in that?
Naturally. And the review, you should do it. Don't do the review otherwise. Some people have the habit of making ABCD otherwise review. That is not recommended. Theme-wise review has to be done. Within your selected topic, there are sub-themes. So, review should be presented theme-wise, not author-wise. Am I making myself quite clear? Any questions?
So
Yes.
my research topic is gender disparities among the social groups.
Okay.
On my third chapter is trends and patterns in the gender disparities in the social groups. I am not able to find the exact data on the gender disparities among the social groups.
No. If I have understood your question correctly, your third chapter you want to present gender description among the social groups.
Social
What
groups.
are the social groups?
Social groups I made like SC, ST,
OBC,
OBC, others.
Other.
Yes.
Are you writing this third chapter based on your data collection
No,
or based
sir.
on the studies?
Third chapter is on the secondary data.
Secondary?
Secondary data also.
That means studies done by others.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
All the reports.
Reports, whatever. Studies, reports, commission, whatever.
Yes.
Right? So you collect that information and you reproduce it. What is wrong in this? What is the difficulty? I am not able to get your
She's
difficulty.
not getting finding the secondary data on gender disparity.
Then on the gender disparity, I am getting the data, sir. Like
Secondary
male and
data.
female data, I am getting. Gender disparity among the male and female.
Secondary data.
The secondary.
He is getting the data.
But
Government departments or reports, where to get, she was like
no, sir. I am not
that is not the
asking.
issue.
analyzing that.
No,
She
sir.
is not getting, sir, that gender and
Community-wise
disparity,
data.
Yes.
Yes,
Community-wise
social.
data.
Social group data is not accurately
Like
available.
SC, how much male and
Huh.
female, OBC, how much
OBC,
male and female.
female. Like
No, if male and female is not available, forget about it. SC, ST, OBC wise it is available.
yes,
Forget about male and female.
yes, sir.
Huh? If it is not, see, if something is not available, what you can do?
So this is the topic is that.
The gender disparity.
No, that topic I appreciate. Nowhere that from Maharashtra.
No, sir. I am from KVD University.
Have you searched all the data sources?
Search, sir. Some.
Are there any studies on this?
No, sir. Exactly not on this topic. Some data I am are there available.
Social welfare department. Huh?
NSSO data also, sir.
Gender? Sorry.
Gender disparities among the social groups.
You need male and female data.
Among the social groups.
No, I can understand.
Along with communities.
Yes, sir.
Any reports available on this?
Sir, NSSO data is available on this only for the year 1968.
Census survey is available to.
Census data?
Census also.
Census data?
Census data is available. Overall data is available.
NFHS data?
I search.
Seventh round has come?
Some particular variables I am finding, sir. Some available variables.
NFHS?
Huh, sir.
50 is there, sir.
See, please try NSSO, one round is available. NFHS is available. Census 2011 is available for you?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
You do justice using these three. Because I told you, manageable. Your topic should be manageable. You should have given thought to this while selecting the topic. That is why I have narrated all the story. But now you manage it in whatever possible way you can manage it. Otherwise, if the source is not available, what can be done? You tell me. So whatever is available, you use that in a judicious way and make a presentation. That's all. I hope I have clarified things to you. Any other question?
Sir,
Yes.
while doing review of literature,
Ah.
you told you should refer classicals, neoclassical, then journals. Sir, how can we find that this journal is good for my research work, or I can refer this for my research?
I told you while talking about journals, some few 4, 5 or 5, 10 foreign journals and 4, 5 or 5, 10 Indian journals, and you can easily pick and choose reputed journals. Or if you are not able to pick and choose reputed journals, talk to your friend, talk to your guides, talk to other scholars in your area, they will be able to tell you. Don't go for all the journals in your discipline because there are so many journals now. You can choose only those who are important.
Rather than
In,
going
in
through
economics, I can
journals-
tell you, Indian Economics Association journal is there, right? And foreign journals, you can see some of economic foreign journals in our library, right? So select those, sorry,
EPW.
Ah.
Economic.
so all those things are available. So if you talk to your guide and other scholars in your area, they should be able to get it.
So rather than going through journals, like actually we go to this journal, then find a topic inside that, you can go with papers. Go and search papers for finding. Sorry to intervene, but I thought of giving that. I do in that fashion.
Papers means what?
My topic is talent detection in sports. So I can't directly find what journal will be publishing on talent detection. I'll go to Google Scholar, just type talent detection. I'll get some papers on talent detection. I'll refer those journal and
Your research is connected to some theory of your discipline. If it is not connected, you are not doing justice to the research, right?